Hello, I'm Greg Harrison with USDA Market News Service here in St. Joe, Missouri with your national feeder cattle summary this week. Well, compared to last week, yearling cattle traded mostly $5 to $10 lower. We got spots where they're $15 lower. In some cases on that, it's going back 2 weeks ago on markets that are on a 2-week schedule. Calves this week mostly $5 to $15 lower. There's instances in a lot of places where they're also up to $20 lower than last week throughout some auctions throughout the Midwest and throughout the southeastern part of the United States. We're seeing a lot of these calves come to market too. You're going to see with some severe discounts on calves that are unweaned and fleshy as we start the fall season, and a lot of calves start to arrive to market. We're going to see increased number of calves. With these warm days and cool nights, it's just right for sickness on these unweaned and fleshy type calves that are being stressed by being separated from their mother, and it's just right for sickness. And looking at this calf market, we've seen it drop quite a bit, seen some sharp losses over the last 2 weeks, and you go back a year ago, you're looking right at $1 a pound in most cases, cheaper than they were a year ago at this time. And this week, cattle futures just continued their free fall, and last week we've seen a lot of sharp losses, and again this week in the cattle futures, except for Monday, which pretty much was just a dead cat bounce, but we've seen just heavy losses since then, and just no way it seemed like applying the brakes to stop the bleeding. We've seen some heavy liquidation selling in the futures, limit losses on Wednesday on feeder cattle, $4.50 and $3 on live cattle. And again on Thursday we saw some sharp triple-digit losses of $2 plus on the feeder cattle futures, and this futures market just continues in a flush-out mode. Any justification for any high-priced feeders just kind of really wore out its welcome, and we've seen a lot of losses just keep mounting on the fed cattle trade, and this has feeder cattle market just accelerating to the downside. Last week, Cattle and Feed Report came out, and it did have some positive news that we saw lower placements than expected, but lower placements just not providing any type of help at all at this time. Market psychology and beef demand just definitely need a reversal, but it's just not happening, along with cleaning up all the heavyweight slaughter cattle that are coming to market. The fed cattle market also continues in a flush out mode, as on Wednesday of this week in the northern plains we saw live prices on Wednesday trade mostly $4 to $6 lower at $1.30 on live prices. Dress sales $7 to $11 lower at $2.01 to mostly $2.03, and then here on Thursday afternoon we've seen a few live sales trade at $1.28, and over the past 2 weeks we've seen this live cattle market and live prices trade lose $10 to $12. Also on Tuesday of this week, the USDA came out with their cold storage report. Total red meat supplies were 3% higher than last month, 26% higher than a year ago. Total beef supplies in cold storage are up 2% over last month, 36% higher than a year ago, coming in at just a little over 470 million pounds. Frozen pork supplies up 4% from last month, 21% higher than a year ago, coming in at just a little over 656 million pounds. And total poultry in cold storage came in at 1.27 million pounds. That's up 13% from last year. So we got a lot of meat protein out there that we have to eat our way through. Box beef prices again sharply lower this week. Box beef on on Wednesday closed $4.88 lower at $217.89 on Wednesday, and that was the lowest price we've seen since February of 2014. Then on Thursday we saw choice box beef again trade $3.04 lower, closing at $214.85 on choice product. Looking at some regional weighted averages this week in the North Central Plains, steers 600-700 pounds, $10 lower at $209.61. 700 to 800 pounds, $8 lower at $197.10. 800 to 900 pound steers trading $6 lower at $190.66. In the South Central regions this week, 500 to 600 pound steers trading $12 lower at $210.30. 600 to 700 pounds, $10 lower at $199.56. And 800 to 900 pound steers $9 lower at $180.52. Southeast regions this week, steers weighing 400 to 500 pounds, $15 lower at $211.96. 500 to 600 pound steers roughly about $10 lower at $196.99. And that's your markets for this week. Thanks for listening. Be back with you next week.